Hello, everybody. It is I, Stream Crush. Let's put something a little bit more chill. All right. Okay, so it's been a few days. Well, kinda. It's Tuesday night to me, but it's Wednesday morning somewhere else, I'm sure. And yeah. I apologize to the VOD viewers, all one of you. I had to re-upload the Xbox Game Fest show thing on Sunday because for some reason YouTube was glitching out on it. I think it was probably getting hung up on some of the copyrighted audio. Not really sure why, but so I deleted it and re-uploaded it. It should be up now. Yeah, I've also been looking at some other stuff here too. Noticing that there is going to be some Resident Evil upgrade stuff happening here soon. So that should be a Resident Evil upgrade. Resident Evil Requiem stuff here soon too. So yeah, that's going to be cool. A lot of Capcom stuff happening, which is good. There's some Steam Next Fest demos. I'll be trying out those the next couple of days. But tonight we're going to be doing some Mario Kart World. I got my Switch on launch day. I was waiting in line and got it right off the bat, and I've been playing it on and off when I'm not streaming. But haven't really had a good chance to sit down and stream. I thought I would over the last couple of days, but that didn't work out too well. So just a lot of real life personal stuff, So while I am trying to keep a more consistent schedule, there's that pesky real life thing that's happening. So, at least it's, a day off instead of a week or 10 off. So yeah, really not much to talk about, to be honest. There's, apparently some previews of Resident Evil 9 and Pragmata and a couple other Capcom Onimusha, I believe. That the general public hasn't seen yet, but apparently all will be revealed today, basically. Well, tomorrow, but today, much later today. Apparently, all the embargoes are going to be going away, and people will be able to talk about their experiences with the demos and stuff. From what I understand, it may not actually be too long before we get a demo, like a playable demo, which would be kind of fun. But yeah, I'm mostly just kind of curious to see what the actual, details of Resident Evil 9 are going to be. Pragmata too, obviously. I've actually been really curious about Pragmata. I talked about it somewhat on the stream on Sunday, but yeah, Pragmata has been just kind of that weird Capcom, Death Stranding at home kind of vibe. So I'm really curious to see what kind of game they've turned it into. Because, anytime Capcom does an original project, it's always this weird blend of weird, but kind of cool. Kunitsugami last year was really cool, and I liked it. I played the demo for it, and at some point I would like to actually just kind of sit down and play it a bit more. I know it's on Game Pass, but I'm sure Capcom will have it cheap enough at some point to just scoop up. But yeah, other than that, Nintendo Switch 2 sold over 3.5 million units worldwide in the first 4 days, which is absolutely ridiculous. Obviously a very huge success. So clearly the economy isn't bad enough for people to not want to buy a Switch 2. I kid. It was pricey. I mean, mine was, $500 something bucks. I got the Mario Kart bundle, so did that and the Switch 2 Pro controller, which I didn't really like at first. But now that I've been kind of using it more, it's actually a higher quality feel, and just the improvements to the way the sticks work, and they're so smooth. And even the D-pad seems upgraded. It is an upgrade. It's a better Switch Pro controller, I think. I do still like the design choices of the original. One of the things that really bothers me about the Switch 2 Pro controller is that it is much, much more difficult to open up and get into. The original has screws in the back. You just unscrew it and get to what you need to. There's still a lot of parts that you have to deal with, to remember where what goes where. But like, in terms of being able to customize your controller by swapping like a shell out or something like that, you just unscrew it, put all the old parts in the new shell, and boom, screw it back together, you're done. There is no external screws on the Switch 2 Pro controller. Obviously there's probably, because I've seen people get into it, there's probably some way to like pry open. I'm guessing like the faceplate here, because I'm just kind of looking at it right now. Maybe the faceplate you can probably pop open. I'd have to look at like how other people are doing it, but maybe it is easier. I don't know, but it doesn't look easy. I'll tell you that. It looks like I'll probably break something, and I don't like that at all. I like being able to have easy access to repairing things or swapping stuff out and upgrading it. I really don't see the big deal here. It would be really cool to customize my Pro 2, Switch 2 Pro controller. That said, I mean, my Switch 1 Pro controller works on the Switch 2 just fine. It can't wake it up from sleep, and it doesn't have the extra buttons, but I mean, it still works. And most controllers do work with the Switch 2 from the Switch 1. Even the original Joy-Cons, although you can't, charge them on the Switch 2, of course. But if you got the grip or your original Switch, or anything like that, you could charge them that way too. So that's kind of cool. So it's not like Switch, Nintendo's trying to prevent you from using any controllers except the newest ones on the Switch 2. But there's definitely some proprietary stuff happening that they want to, kind of push you into. But I don't feel like it's too intrusive. I feel like maybe some of the protocols have changed a little bit, and there'll have to be some like firmware updates for some controllers and things like that, which is weird saying it like that. God. But like, but yeah, like I know my my 8BitDo Pro 2 controller doesn't work on the Switch 2. I think there was a beta patch that like kind of helped with that, but I'm not willing to risk it yet until things get a little bit more confirmed as to what it can do. Because the Pro 2 controller is really nice. It's a Super Nintendo style layout. But it's got the one I have has the Game Boy style D-pad and buttons. But it has everything except for the headphone jack. It has everything that the Switch 2 Pro controller has. I suppose it doesn't have the NFC either. Maybe. I don't think it does. But in terms of like being a functional gamepad, it would be great for like retro games. Perfect layout for that. So that would be kind of cool. I do like this controller a lot, but yeah, I just wish it was better compatible with the Switch 2, and right now it's just not. That said, honestly, I think that the 8BitDo Pro 2 controller is probably just better overall for like emulators like RetroArch and stuff than it is for like Switch 2 stuff. Obviously, the Switch Online, emulation, sure, that'd be pretty nice, but I feel at that point probably be better to just get like a Switch virtual console controller, like a Super Nintendo one or an N64 or something like that. So, but those are pricey, if you don't have a way to get them, and they're frequently sold out. Plus, you have to have a online online subscription to be able to get it. So, so there's all those kind of hurdles. I mean, that said, I'll probably be ordering the N64 one soon enough, because wireless N64 controllers are not exactly common to find right now, and the ones that are out there are just really pricey. I would love to get my original 64 controller. The analog stick on it's getting really crummy, but the only high quality replacement I know of that gives you a 1-to-1 feel of the original analog stick, doesn't replace it with like a GameCube style or anything like that, is there's a small hobbyist guy who's making ones that are made out of stainless steel, but those are like almost $200 just for the stick module, and it's like, I like N64. I don't know if I like N64 $200 worth, but I mean, on the other hand, it is a one and done purchase. I mean, it's probably never going to go bad, which is, yeah. But yeah, it just would be nice if it was a little bit cheaper. $100, I might be more tempted. But either way, because I know that eventually the N64 online controllers, the replica controllers, they're going to have problems too. They have the same internal design. Some of the parts might be a little bit more modern, but the but the design is basically the same. It's the plastic gears, and the plastic bowl. And the problem with the N64 analog stick is that the stick is wonderful, but the parts that are made out of are cheap. And the plastics rub against each other and then they grind. And that's that powder that when you open up an N64 controller, it's really crappy. And you want to open it up and see what's going on. That little white powder that's inside, that is literally the plastic dust that's been grinding away over the years inside your analog stick. That's what's wrong with the controller. So the fix for it is higher quality parts, higher quality plastics. You could also use, one thing you can use to help with it is silicone lubricant. So you can clean up the bowl and everything. You can clean up the gears a little bit, as best as you can. There's going to be some wear, but the silicone will help kind of make it a little bit more smooth to use again. And then the other big one that people have been using is the metal. They use like steel and stuff to basically replicate the part, but now it's out of high quality metal, so it's a lot harder for it to break down. So there's options, but yeah, it just sucks because the N64 controller is so tailor-made to N64 games that like playing say Mario 64 or GoldenEye or something and not use the N64 controller is kind of weird. Not that it can't. I mean, there's tons of third-party N64 style controllers out there that basically just replicate a PlayStation or an Xbox layout, and people are happy with that. Certainly you can do it, but it's kind of awkward. It's like trying to play a 6-button fighting game, with like, I don't know. It's you could do it on a Saturn controller. It's got 6 buttons, right? 6 face buttons. They're trying to do it when you got like a 3-button Genesis controller. Not quite the same. You got to like hold combinations of buttons down. Or, I remember Mortal Kombat for the Genesis. You'd have to hit the start button to block, which, start's supposed to be pause. So the Super Nintendo controller was just a better layout until the Genesis 6 button came out. So just some games are just tailor-made. But honestly, there's a big chunk of the Genesis library. Like, I think 99% of the Genesis library, you can use a 3-button controller. There won't be a problem. But you're going to get stuff like Street Fighter 2 or Mortal Kombat where it's like, yeah, the 6-button would be nice to have. But yeah, anyway, sidetrack here. All that to say, yeah, I'm pretty happy with the Switch 2 right now. It's pretty premium, feeling, but it does have some flaws, some production issues. Like my shoulder buttons on my Joy-Cons are a little rough, like kind of sharpish around the edges. It would be nice if the console itself was a bit more ergonomic. But everything works. There's nothing really wrong with it. And considering that it's a PlayStation 4 Pro-ish console that is basically in a little tablet, that's pretty damn impressive, to be honest. If I had to estimate the power of the Switch 2, it's basically between a PS4 Pro and a Xbox Series S. So it's not like the most powerful console in the market, but like if it can run on a PS4, it's going to run on a Switch 2. And that's a lot of games. Like that is a lot of games that are going to be able to run on your Switch 2. Probably not as upgraded as you would like. There's definitely going to be compromises. But if you can get Cyberpunk running on a Switch 2, even with compromises, it still delivers you the experience of the game. Going through the plot and all that. I've seen video of like driving around the city and there's barely any cars or NPCs. I mean, whatever. Like you're playing on a Switch 2. You have to like expect that there's going to be compromises. But the game is there. You go from place to place, you kill bad guys, you progress through the plot, you upgrade your character, whatever, all that kind of stuff, right? It's all there. And in a cartridge. And you don't have to download anything. Like that's kind of impressive on its own, but like, so you get the complete experience. And to have all that on a tablet is, with controllers attached to it is really impressive. So definitely I think that like most modern games, you'll have a Switch 2 port. Obviously there's going to be stuff like Alan Wake 2 probably won't look good on it, or Silent Hill 2. I definitely wouldn't expect a new Resident Evil on the Switch, at least not right away. maybe the like a cloud gaming version, I guess, but like maybe I wouldn't expect it. So so there's going to be some stuff where it's higher end graphics you're just not going to see on the Switch 2, at least not right away. But who knows? I mean, you got Doom Eternal and Doom on the Switch 2, and I mean those things are miracle ports. So like it's certainly or on the Switch 2, on the Switch 1. But I mean, like there was a lot of miracle ports on the Switch 1, so I can certainly see the Switch 2 getting some pretty interesting ports of games you probably wouldn't think would run on it. So definitely looking forward to that. But honestly, like for me, I have a PS5, I have a PC, so I buy Nintendo consoles mostly for Nintendo games. So I'm really curious to see what Nintendo can do with this power. I mean, this is leagues beyond what the Switch 1 was capable of. And so like these early days of the Switch 2, you're not really going to see the power being pushed much. You're going to be like, oh, 4K resolution. Ooh, like playing Mario Kart World. I'm really shocked at like how little aliasing there is, considering Nintendo's been really bad about not using anti-aliasing. But like, it's going to go beyond that. Like at some point, Nintendo's going to have to up their graphical fidelity and scope of games and stuff. So probably the next big Zelda game, I think you're really going to see the Switch 2 flex its muscles. Who knows what that'll look like, but yeah. So anyway, speaking of Switch 2, let's pop on over to Mario Kart World and have ourselves a little bit of fun. Let's see here. There we go. Look at that. So let's get you guys some music. And I'm going to switch over. Get it? All right. So, that's right. I've been playing a little bit of Mario Kart World. Okay, so I'm not sure what I should be doing here. Let's see. Online play is pretty fun. I like playing. There's this mode here, which is the Knockout Tour. This is really fun. It's basically an elimination mode. You have to place at a certain ranking, or you lose. Best I've gotten so far is I got past the 8 mark, or no, I got past the 10, but not the 8. Stupid guy in a Mario was kicking my butt. But here's my unlock so far. So as you can see, there's a lot of unlocks. So I still got a lot to grind. I haven't done the hold on a sec here. Oh. So for the Grand Prix, I haven't really done as much as I'd like. Here. We'll just pick Mario now. Ooh! The Ribbit Revster, huh? Oh, that's cool. Bumblebee. We're just gonna go with the standard cart. I probably should just play through these, and I did the 50cc for these two. You know what? Let's knock it out. We'll knock out the 50cc's. Hopefully that'll work. The music in this is great. I think the presentation is definitely better than other Mario Karts have been. Like, even the, like, it's weird saying this, but my experience so far has been, like, this game really reminds me a lot of the Mario Kart for the Super Nintendo. Couldn't tell you what. Whoa! Okay, let's not do that again. Also like that coins have a use. I love that there's just a cow you can drive. Took him out. Yeah. No! That's gonna cost me. That's twice I've done that. The drifting is really loose in this one. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but it does take some getting used to. Why did I do that? That was a waste of a shell. It's alright, I'm so far ahead. No! Oh my gosh. How close? Oh my god, he was right behind me. I was gonna feel so robbed. This is cool. I love the rolling start thing. Ah. Wish I could get the timing down for that. Come on, come on. We can get it. There we go. Of course. I knew that was coming. Oh, there we go. No! Oh! This is a really pretty course. Alright, next race. Sky High Sunday. Nope, didn't do it then either. Woo! Ah! What did I get hit by? Are you kidding me? Right then and there, you had to hit me with the lightning bolt. Darn. That red shell was right there. Bum, bada, bum, 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 bada, bum, bum, bada, bum, bum. All right, Wario Shipyard. So we're at the last course. There we go. I think I figured out the timing on that. Are no other racers? Oh, there we go. Wow, look at that rubber banding. Woo! Oh yeah. Chupa Chupa. All right. All right. Sweet, Rosalina. Should play her next. Let's see. I get a new cart? Ooh, I did. Alright. Let's pick Rosalina and Pipe Frame. Let's do it. Alright, so we did that one. Chupa Beach. That is very bright. I love these flybys. Can you imagine a Mario game with like all of these different places you could go to, just like in Mario Kart, but like it's a Mario adventure game? That'd be pretty awesome, actually. Oh, I love this song. Ah! I don't know, everybody wants F-Zero to be the next racing game that Nintendo makes, but I really think we need a new wave race. Are you kidding me? I should have just used it. Oh, that could have been really bad. I'm about to lap? I think I'm about to lap this guy. Ah. Haha! I lapped Goomba. Woohoo! All right, feel good to lap at least one racer. All right, Faraway Oasis. DJ Koopa in the house. Ah. Sweet, I got them both. Haha, sweet. Yep, knew that was gonna happen. What? Well, that's kind of cool, actually, but a little weird. And not much I can do there. Ah! We'll do that. That kind of works, right? Oh my gosh! Oh, this looks so cool. That red shell is about to hit me too. Alright. Next race. Crown City. Toad's Wharf, huh? Okay, so I think it's on the second light. Nope. A little bit after the second light. We're the dolphin now. Please tell me that those are going to be unlockable racers. There's a whole bunch of spots you can get to on this bridge. No, I missed it. Let's see if I can get this one. Can I get this one over here? We're gonna do that. Nice bird feather right at the end there for no good reason. Beach Stadium. All right, let's try it again. Yep, I think that's what it was. I think you have to do it like just a little bit into the 2. Oh my god, it blew away the car. That's evil. That's a okay course. Very city driving. It reminded me of the N64 one. Very wide lanes though. Nice. Another course down. Wish the awards thing was a little more varied, but Lakitu! We've collected 600 coins and unlocked a new vehicle. Alright, so we got Lakitu. We got Pro Racer Rosalina. Touring Rosalina. Oh, we did unlock him. Dolphin Guy. Sightseeing Mario. Look at him go. Yeah, yeah. Arrow Rosalina. I love how I feel like there's just more characters. I keep unlocking characters, and I feel like I keep finding more characters. Oh, this guy's there. Look at him go. Yeah. Alright, let's see here. Riding on Cloud9. This feels like the perfect Wario car, though. I mean, the Cadillac, yeah, sure, but like, oh my gosh. that stance. This definitely gives me "We Are Number One" energy. Put you to sleep. Dun. It doesn't sound like him, though. Maybe I'm just expecting a deeper Wario. Alright, Banana Cup. Let's roll. We got 2 more 50cc's to knock out. Peach Beach. Oh, that's cool looking. There's definitely some, like, Mario movie influences, but not too bad. Wow, look at Wario go. Wario and Mario. Waluigi. Yeah, I think I'm getting that down now. Of course. Go Waluigi. Go Waluigi. Birdo, huh? You can tell who you're going to unlock by whoever the second place person is. That's most likely going to be the racer you're going to get. This is cool. That's not cool. Missing those blue shells right at the last second. And there's always a blue shell. I think I realized why I don't like the blue shell though. Like, I don't mind what the blue shell does. I don't like the tumbly thing it does to your character. Like, if it slowed you down or something like that, that'd be one thing. But because you, like, basically get hammered with it, it never actually feels good to be hit with it, if that makes any sense. Ah, that's cool. There's a dinosaur. Wahaha! Karma. Whoa, what is this? Oh, this is so cool. Right at the line. He just sounds like he's having the time of his life. Woohoo! It's funny for how prolific Waluigi is in Nintendo's marketing that, like, he never actually got his own game. Luigi! I do it! Birdo. Look at him, man. He's just happy. He's gonna open up that taco stand he's always been wanting to have. Birdo! Alright, so we got one more race to go through. Before we finish off the 50 cc's. His nose was like that, isn't it? It sounds like that normally. What's with the nose? The bulldozer. Oh, I guess we had two more. Alright. We're doing it all. Cheap, cheap falls. Oh, this is cool looking. Oh, we're getting a Boo Mansion. And sorry, just a second. Thought I heard something. Never mind. Wow. Everybody's pulling off the stops this race. Look at how many of them have mushrooms. Luigi time. That one's a little more frustrating, actually, just because the waterways were very, like, crappy for handling. Dandelion depths. Probably they've got the Japanese Luigi. Interesting choice for a costume. Bitch. You save your power up, you still get taken away from you. It's just frustrating. There's some things about Mario Kart that have always been really annoying. Some of the power-ups are just so strong. And it's weird because, like, they're balanced in the sense that, like, they don't automatically win you a race. But when they happen at just the right moment to screw you over, it feels really crummy. Wait, what? Didn't work for me that time. these Luigi costumes. Oh, that's a cool transition. This is awesome. The blue shell again. So now we got Genie Luigi. I feel like we can get more costumes than that. Alright, Dry Bones Burnout. Boo Cinema. Wow, that was two at once. Oh, okay, that kind of stank. See if we can kind of get some more distance here. This one was a bit tougher for a 50cc. Blue shell. Again, another blue shell. Wow. I think out of the last, like, 5 races I've done, like, 3 of them have ended on a blue shell almost hitting me. Just before I'm about to cross the line. That's kind of crazy, actually. These were some cool courses, though. I love the Boo Cinema. That was pretty trippy. I would have loved to have seen, like, a longer version of that. Like, these courses are all really cool, but I would love a tour of, like, all themed ones, where it's, like, all a Boo haunted house, or like, maybe a Luigi's Mansion type thing. That'd be pretty sweet. King Boo. All right. There we go. Rosalina has 4 looks. So there must be, like, more or less you can get with certain characters. Oh, that's cool looking. All right. Last 50cc. And of course we got Moo Moo Meadows. Well, that's cool looking. All right, Donkey Kong. Ah. Oh, what? How did it miss me and still hit me? Look at this! What is this? What is that? This red shell after red shell after red shell, finally followed by a blue shell. That was something. That was something for sure. I don't really know if I like that costume. It's okay. It'd be kind of funny if one of the costumes turned him into his Donkey Kong Country model. So that should be all the 50cc's done. All right. Bowser Jr. Oh. What is this? Rainbow Road? Hey, look, I matched the colors. Ooh, another vehicle. Wow, look at the acceleration. I suppose it's not as fast. Should get a little more speed out of it, though. All right, last one. Then we'll call it a night after finishing up all the 50 cc's. Wow. Another close one. Holy cow. That was right before the line, too. To Peach's Castle. that. Woo. 2 costumes got. How did I miss that? No! Oh. I was like, no, don't let that happen again. Last course, Rainbow Road. Ah, flashbang! Oh, this is so cool. So close. The music so far isn't very like Rainbow Roady to me. It seems really chill for being like a final race. It's very pretty, but like maybe it'll pick it up here in a minute. Wine coffer? Oh, that's cool. Robot with the dinosaur. That's cool to have those little callbacks to the earlier races. Huh. Not my favorite Rainbow Road. I feel like this one is lacking some of the like inspirational music and stuff like that, but it looks really pretty. Toadettes. Baby Rosalina. And Daisy! Yep. Alright, so Rainbow Road done on 50cc. Not bad, not bad. Alright. So what do I think so far? Well, I think it looks really nice. It's certainly a very beautiful looking game. I mean, it's not 4K per se, but like it looks very clean. It runs smooth as butter, as you saw. Music's good. Controls are great. It's, you know, got the typical Mario Kart frustration. You know, you don't want to be in the lead all the time because you'll just get hammered with stuff, but like it's fun. It's competitive. Even in the 50cc, you still feel like there's challenge, you know. And from the little bit I played of multiplayer and stuff, I mean, you're definitely going to be nerd raging a bit, which is not a bad thing, you know. But yeah, I mean, it's Mario Kart. If you like the other ones, you'll like this one. I feel like they're probably going to be, like, what you have now won't be the same game in, like, 5 years. You know, obviously they're going to have, like, booster courses and stuff like that. You know, and they're also going to have, like, you know, DLC and things like... I wouldn't be surprised to see other Nintendo characters again. You know, Zelda and F-Zero and stuff like that. You know, it worked really well for the Wii U and stuff, like for Mario Kart 8. So... those cheeks. And yeah, I guess that's the other thing too, is like, you know, there's a lot of potential for additional content with this. I still haven't actually played the tour mode. I've heard that some of the ability to play with your friends is kind of neutered, which kind of stinks. But, you know, it's Nintendo. Nintendo's always like 2 steps forward, 1 step back when it comes to stuff. Super Mario Kart. I told you there was a Super Mario Kart influence to this game. Choco Mountain, Wario Stadium, Mario Brothers Circuit, Rainbow Road, Bowser's Castle. There's a little bit of Mario 64 in here too, I've noticed. I feel like they definitely went back and kind of dug through some of the earlier Mario Karts for some inspiration. It's not a bad thing, for sure. Controversial hot take, possibly, but Super Mario Kart is still my favorite Mario Kart. Mario Kart 64 comes very close to it. And I like Mario Kart 8 and 7 and stuff. Like, I'm really playing a bad Mario Kart. But if I had to say, like, you know, I'm on an island and I have to pick 2 Mario Karts, it's going to be Super Mario Kart and Mario Kart 64. Obviously, you know, this one's kind of, you know, fighting for, you know, the top there too, but... You are very welcome, Nintendo. I'm glad to have given you my money. I guess. I'm not really sure about that, but that's cool. A nice actual end credit sequence. Can't complain about that. All right. What a weird Mario Kart racer. Alright, Daisy got her touring. And Arrow. Dread Sled. Well, that's not too bad. Good handling. Whoa. Yo, that song's sick. Check all these out. All right. All right. I think this is pretty good time to call it a night. So let's wrap up the stream here. Okay. All right. So that was Mario Kart World. And you know what? It's fun. It's fun. Is it $80 fun? That's a great question, isn't it? The answer is no. It's not $80 fun. Games that were expensive, like people like to compare games being $80 now to the games being $80 in the 90s. I'm not sure that's a fair comparison. For one thing, you were paying for a physical game back then, like a physical game. You got a cartridge that had ROM chips on it. Assuming you took relatively good care of that, it's still going to exist today. I have N64 cartridges. Those things were like $70 when I bought them. I still have them now. So, that's cool, right? I'm not sure that a lot of Switch games and Switch 2 games are going to survive into the future. Just the sheer amount of games is going to make it hard to keep track of all of them, but also because so many of them are just digital. Digital, the idea of digital being a timeless thing, I think was a more naive thought back in the day. But the reality is like, digital decays just like analog does. It just does it in a different way. A lot of stuff that's digital just gets lost to time. People forget about it. There's a lot of old internet that nobody goes to anymore because people have just kind of forgotten that a lot of it exists. And the way that a lot of websites work now, they like a really good example of that is social media sites like Twitter, well, X, whatever, Blue Sky, Facebook, YouTube. All these sites, they'd like to congregate you into one little area and then hold you there for retention. Whereas in the old internet, you had to, like, places were made and then you would go seek them out based on the things you liked. So you had forums and websites like Something Awful or steakandcheese.com or Penny Arcade or, basically anything with a GeoCities or it just, there was more places to be. There was dig.com. There was, before Reddit, there was, what the heck was it? Whatever the website was before Reddit. But there was so many different places you could go to, and that's not including all like the fan pages and stuff. The little places that people would set up because they were like, I have a niche interest in this one thing. Here's a website for it. One of the things that you used to do before everybody started adding Reddit to the end of their Google searches, you used to add forum or something along those lines, and Google would go and find all the forums. And before forums had started to decay from lack of use and maintenance, a lot of forums are just gone at this point, or so overrun with ads and other bots and stuff that they're kind of useless. But forums were the place you would like, because forums are relatively like. Here's the problem with a lot like Twitter and stuff like that is when you make a comment on Twitter or Reddit, or even YouTube. After a few days, I mean, heck, after a few minutes, even sometimes, your comments just you yelling into the void. There's thousands of people talking all at once, all vying to be the person who gets the most attention. There is no way to follow a conversation. You can't have a good conversation on those platforms. I'm not saying it's impossible. There are some Reddit subreddits that you can have a good conversation and stuff, but like, there's a lack of permanence to a lot of things, that, it's just a different flow, I guess you'd say, of knowledge and information that you get from a forum, versus a Reddit, or basically any other social media. Because it's just not their design. That's not what they're meant for. Like Reddit is for comments and commentary. It's not really meant to have long form discussion. And same thing with, like Twitter or Facebook and stuff like that. It's meant for like in the moment type stuff. It's not really meant for, long conversations that can be looked at 20 years and down the road, and so old internet's kind of been forgotten, but that's kind of how it works, so, that's happening with games too. I mean, like, there are a lot of great games that have been preserved over the years, but to the younger generations, they don't really care about Nintendo entertainment system. Like, obviously, they know what a Mario Brothers 3 is, or a Mega Man or something, but like, there's a lot of really great games and a lot of really bad ones that came out for older platforms that like nobody's really going to remember anymore. Does anybody really remember Mule? Or not Space Invaders, Keystone Keepers. Does anybody really remember? Let's see, what's another deep cut here? Like I'm just saying, like there's Adventures of Lolo. That's a relatively known one to people who grew up with the NES, but nobody knows what the hell a Lolo is anymore. How about G Police for the PlayStation? Anybody remember that? Colony Wars. How about that? Colony Wars was a big deal when it came out. There's just, a lot of games that have come and gone, and people have just kind of forgotten about them. Even games relatively recent memory, like a lot of games that came out for the PS2, the PS3, even the PS4, even now, you could argue, they're forgotten just as quickly because they get lost in the flood, right? And memories just kind of blank out everything but the most exceptional stuff. Or the things that like some YouTuber decided to make a video about. So like, yeah, in terms of like the digital stuff versus the physical stuff, I just feel like comparing prices is just not really, it's not fair. The times were just different then. The expectations of what you would get out of a game, the work that went into making the game, and then the fact of manufacturing a physical product that you would have in your hands when you bought it versus what it is now. I mean, I'm not saying that people didn't work hard on this game, but and truly, I mean, $80 if you can charge it and get it. I mean, I guess I don't like it, but like somebody out there is happy about buying it for $80. But I do feel like there's a difference in corporate greed now that is not what it used to be. Companies nowadays, they just don't feel like they have to care. Like they'll just basically say, I'll charge whatever I want, and if you don't buy it, somebody else will. And for the most part, they're not wrong, but the way they do it kind of rubs you the wrong way, right? Like there's just this level of hubris of like, I'm going to do this and who's going to stop me? That kind of sucks sometimes. And I like Nintendo. I do. I mean, for all of their faults, they've been a good company when it comes to, helping the industry kind of not go completely down the path of, sad dad simulators. I mean, I know they're all kind of their own little thing, but like, when you look past like the legal bullshit that Nintendo likes to pull, they make good products. I mean, it's just, they're not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. But the industry is better for them being here. That's for sure. Just, I feel like the problem with Sony and Microsoft is they don't do the job of competition, with Nintendo as well as Sega did. I feel like the industry is lesser because Sega's not in the market anymore, as a console manufacturer. And with the arcade drying up too, I mean, that just took away a lot of what Sega does. Ironically, Sega's instability is also been one of its best strengths, despite the fact that it almost drove into bankruptcy. But the vibe of Sega has always been one that is more Nintendo than Sony. Sony and Microsoft, at the end of the day, they're very corporate companies. And I'm not saying Nintendo isn't, but it's a different type of corporate. Those are Sony and Microsoft. If like the gaming industry went bottom up tomorrow, they would survive. They would just seg into one of their other major industry sectors. Whereas Nintendo, they're a toy company. They're a toy company that uses electronics. Just like how Disney is a toy company that makes animations. Their intellectual properties are their strong suit. And they're really good at using technology. I mean, the Switch 2 may not feel like it's state of the art graphically, but like it is a state of the art machine. This is a pretty, like, you're not going to find, I mean, yeah, you have the ROG Ally, and the Steam Deck are pretty potent machines, and they're built really well. But like the total package of the Switch 2 is, it's pretty state of the art, all things considered. This is not, like, the funny thing about the Switch 2 is that this is not withered technology. The Switch 1 was absolutely with the Tegra, because that thing was, NVIDIA didn't know what to do with it at that. That's why they notice that they haven't made another Shield. They just they kept bumping up the Tegra because, like, what else were they going to do? They had too many of the chips. That's why Nintendo was able to do the Switch 1 for so cheap, because NVIDIA was just sitting on a bunch of Tegra chips, and they were desperate for a buyer, and Nintendo's like, I'll be your buyer for a price, and that price was cheap. But what you get with the Switch 2 is not that. There's just more tech in it. Minus an OLED. I know some people aren't happy about that. But the dock is better and improved. The controller is improved. The Joy-Cons are improved. Time will tell on the stick drift, but yeah. But getting back to the original point, is Mario Kart World worth $80? Is the Switch 2 worth your money? At the end of the day, the Switch 2 is basically a Nintendo Pro. It's a Switch Pro. It's more than that. Like, this is a true sequel to the Nintendo Switch. But at least initially, I feel like you're gonna look at this and go, this just feels like the Switch one with better graphics, and you wouldn't be wrong in thinking that. It's up to Nintendo to really prove how different the Switch 2 really is. And Mario Kart World is good, but like, it doesn't really prove anything. Like, there's a lot. I don't think you could do Mario Kart World on the Switch 1 without a lot of compromise. So visually, yeah, absolutely. But like, in terms of game design and stuff, I'm just not seeing anything that like is really that revolutionary. It's just a pretty game. So I mean, there's opportunities here. Like the Donkey Kong Bonanza game, destructible environments and stuff like that. Maybe next month, that'll show up and kind of blow our minds a bit. And like I said, there's obviously going to be things down the road that Nintendo's going to pull out the stops on. So when they tease the next Zelda game, you'll know for sure that they ain't messing around, because that's how they've always been. But I do not think that Nintendo is being honest about pricing. I think that they're charging high prices and then saying that if they charged lower prices, it would devalue their properties. I don't believe that's true, because it wasn't true in the past, and it's not true now. Like, Mario is still the most popular, Nintendo IP, Pokemon, all that kind of stuff. And for years, you could find those games pretty cheap. Nintendo would sell them pretty cheap, and it's like, Mario World was not devalued as a game because you sold it for $20. Mario 64, Mario Odyssey, none of those games were devalued in any way. You just didn't get as much profit out of it because you were selling them cheaper. But like, if you look at like a really good example of how this is kind of messed up in terms of philosophy for Nintendo, Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom have Switch 2 versions that you can go to the store and buy, and they're like $70, I think. Let me see here. Let me make sure on this pricing. Let's see. Breath of the Wild Switch 2 edition. Let's see here. $69. So $70. Yeah. Let's see here. Okay. So this is from IGN. Here, we'll flip back here. Oh, Mario's still on. Hold on. All right. So this is from IGN. Amid continued frustration and confusion from fans about how much the Nintendo Switch 2 and its games are going to cost them, The Legend of Zelda's Breath of the Wild Switch 2 edition doesn't come with the expansion pass, meaning you'll have to pay an additional $20 to play the DLC on the new system if you don't already own it. This might sound like a no-brainer, but let me explain. Since the announcement of the Nintendo Switch 2's game and their price last week, there's been no end to the confusion about how it's all going to work. What we currently know is that if you own The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild on Nintendo Switch, you can play that same game on your Nintendo Switch 2, including with the DLC if you've already purchased it, no problem. However, there is also a Nintendo Switch 2 Enhanced Edition of Breath of the Wild. It comes with improved visuals and performance, achievements, as well as support for the new Zelda Note service in the Nintendo Switch Online app. If you already own Breath of the Wild on Switch, you won't get those features automatically, but you can purchase an upgrade pack for $10 to get access to all that. So that leaves folks who don't own the game yet at all, but might want to purchase a Nintendo Switch 2. They can purchase a Nintendo Switch 2 Enhanced Edition of Breath of the Wild for $70, $10 more than the game initially retailed at, so basically the price of the original game and the pack. But it won't include the DLC expansion pack, so if you want access to that, it's another $20 on top of that. $90 for the full Breath of the Wild Nintendo Switch 2 experience. This is according to a statement from Nintendo, who told IGN the edition does not include the expansion pass DLC. That DLC is available as a separate purchase. Yeah. You might argue that it's only fair given that it's effectively what existing owners of the game have already paid anyway, plus the cost of the upgrade. It's not like there's a mysterious upcharge happening here. But it's worth pointing out that most other game publishers eventually get around to dropping the price on 8-year-old games or offer enhanced editions for later systems that include the DLC bundled in to help ease the financial burden on players interested in jumping in. A whopping $90 for the most current version of a game that came out in 2017 on the Nintendo Wii U feels painful, especially in light of Mario Kart World retailing at an unheard of $80, and the Nintendo Switch 2 costing $450 or perhaps even more, depending on what Nintendo decides to do about the current tariff situation, which we know how that worked out. It's $450, $500 if you got the Mario Kart game. Yeah, maybe it won't matter, and maybe everyone who is ever going to realistically play Breath of the Wild largely already owns at least the base version of the game, given how well it's already sold. But if you were waiting to pull the trigger on it and its sequel, Tears of the Kingdom, for a new, shinier system, you'll have to keep the cost of Breath of the Wild's very good expansion pass in mind. Like, this is a very, Nintendo thing to do, but it's a dumb Nintendo thing to do. Like, if there is a Nintendo Switch 2 version of this, I could absolutely see Nintendo being like, we're not going to make a Nintendo, a Switch 1 version of Breath of the Wild that has everything in it. But, if I'm at the store and I'm deciding if I want to play Breath of the Wild for the first time, or maybe I had Breath of the Wild and I sold it, I don't own Breath of the Wild anymore. I did. I played it for a bit. I got kind of bored of it, and then I moved on. So, maybe I want to actually pick it up and play it again. But, $90 is a lot. So it's like, okay, well, if it was $70 and it contained everything, plus the Switch 2 graphics upgrades, I could see that being okay. I mean, it's a complete version of one of the best games ever made, right? But it's not, because you still have to buy the extra DLC, which is just wild, right? And not only that, but this game came out in 2017 on the Wii U, right? It's like, Breath of the Wild is old now. It might be a good game, sure, but it's old. Tears of the Kingdom has been out for 4 years now. It's old. I'm not saying that Nintendo needs to reduce these games down to $10 or clearance them out like some of the other companies do, but you can do Breath of the Wild with DLC for $49, right? You can do that, or even $39. We'll say $39, so $40. Breath of the Wild and the DLC, and then for $10 more, you get the Nintendo Switch 2 stuff. Boom, there you go. That's a $50 game. $50 is pretty freaking reasonable. And Nintendo would still make a lot of money. I mean, it's not like they're getting rid of the game for $20, And that's the thing. This is the problem with Nintendo right now. Is Nintendo, I understand there are market issues right now, tariffs and all that fun stuff. But, they need to be more value conscious. The Switch Online controllers, the virtual console stuff, $50 for a Nintendo 64 controller is kind of wild. But what's even more wild is $50 for a Sega Genesis 3 button controller. Like what? Especially when the Super Nintendo controller is $30 and it's cheaper. Like how is the Super Nintendo controller cheaper than the Sega Genesis controller? 30 versus 50. $20 more? Is it worth $20 more? No. It's not. It's just a controller. So it's like, and there's nothing in any of the Virtual Console, Switch Online controllers, that is dramatically like, oh my gosh, this has to be super expensive. N64 I could kind of see because it's for how complicated it is, but like the GameCube controller is $65, which is just like, whoa, what the. Makes no sense to me. Like, I guess from what I hear, the parts inside are basically like a Switch 2 Pro controller. But even then, it's like, that's a lot of money for a GameCube controller. At least sell the adapter again so that people have the option of using their original GameCube controllers. But it's like, this is what Nintendo does. They've always done this. They've always found a way to eke out a little bit more profit somewhere. But I just wish that, like, the hardware you can kind of eat the cost on. Like the gaming hardware is definitely more expensive now. But it wouldn't feel so painful to buy a $500 game console if the games weren't so expensive for it. So, Mario Kart 8 or Mario Kart World being $80 means that, 4 Mario Kart 8s or goddamn Mario Kart Worlds, and you're basically at the cost of a Switch 2 already. Like 4 games for your Switch 2 is as much as a Switch 2. For all the technology goes in your Switch 2, it's like, what's the bigger bargain here? But it's just a hard thing to kind of wrap your brain around. And it makes me, like, as somebody who owns a Switch 2, I bought it on launch day, I'm hesitant to buy Switch 2 games. I would rather wait till people are selling them secondhand. I would rather wait till I see a sale at a store, because I cannot afford to constantly buy $80 games. I don't know who can. Like one of the reasons why I really like PC gaming is because I get a lot of games cheap. I get a lot of games free. They're not always new games, but at least I get a steady stream of games that I can play. I have more games on my PC than I could ever possibly have time to play. But it's nice when I can dig back in my backlog and be like, oh, I could play that. I could play that. Like there's 15,000 games that came out for the Switch. Like a lot of them are probably junk, but that's more games than you'll ever have time to play in your life. It's like Nintendo can afford to give a little bit on the pricing of things. Understandable if they want their hardware and their accessories to cost a little more because they are the first party. They're the OEM. So the third party stuff I expect to be a little bit cheaper unless it's built super nicely. But when it comes to software, I feel like Nintendo needs to kind of like loosen their grip a little bit on pricing. Like Doug Bowser had mentioned variable pricing. Mario Kart World's $80. Maybe another Switch game is $30. But the problem is like that's not how it's actually working out. If you look at like say they did the Luigi's Mansion 2 HD for for the Switch 1, and when they released it, it was like $60. Luigi's Mansion 2 is a fun game, but it came out on the 3DS for like $30. Like it's not a $60 game. It should have been like a $40 game. Same thing with like a lot of the Wii ports. Those were released as full price games. And to be fair, the Wii ports were a little enhanced. Maybe a little extra content like Super Mario not World, Super Mario 3D World, had the Bowser's Fury thing. Okay, fine. Sure, that's extra content. That helps justify the price a little bit, But yeah, there needs to be like a Nintendo Selects line. I don't expect it out of the gate for the Switch 2, but either that or make the cost of upgrading your Switch 1 games to the Switch 2 a little more bearable by including your DLC and things like that. Or heck, give people incentive with the Switch Online. Like I have Tears of the Kingdom, and because I'm subscribed to the Switch Online, I get the upgrade for free. And it looks nice. Now, I don't know if I'll lose it when I get rid of my Switch Online, if I ever do. But like, that's fine. I'm not really that worried about it. A year of Nintendo Online is like $50. So, you could do that though. Upgrade paths if you subscribe. Sure. Cool. Throw the DLC in there too. Why not? But, Nintendo, if they want to remain family friendly, it can't just be their image. It has to be their value too. Mom and dad are, like the 3.5 million that's sold, that's early adopters. But mom and dad are definitely going to be more price conscious than most people. Like, I'm a grown ass adult, so affording a Switch 2, I mean, it's not great in my budget, but I'm able to make it work. But mom and dad, they're not going to be rushing to the store and buying their kid a $500 game console with an $80 game with $80 to $90 accessory prices. Like, they're not going to walk out of the store with $1,000 in video game stuff. I know this because I work in that type of environment where parents have to make those choices. And unless it's like Christmas and mom and dad got some deep pockets, it ain't happening. So, and that's the thing is the Switch 1, the barrier to entry was cheaper. The cost of the games was generally a little bit cheaper. And I feel like the Switch 1 is going to have more legs just because it's cheaper. And Nintendo's probably banking on that a little bit. But I do feel like eventually they're going to want people to migrate to the Switch too. So, yeah, I don't know. But that's what I think. I think that, when it comes down to it, I think that the Switch 2 is not a bad machine. A little pricey, for sure, but it's not a bad machine. It has issues with ergonomics, just like the Switch 1 did. Battery life isn't super impressive, but it is definitely better than some of the premium Windows handhelds. The library is very vast. It's still got some backwards compatibility kinks to work out, but that's not too bad. So yeah, and things will only get better from here as Nintendo kind of cleans up the launch a bit and, sees the issues and gets them all addressed and things. But like I said, I just feel like Nintendo needs be more value conscious. It would be really awesome to see like another Mario All-Stars bone thrown to players, or just bring back the Nintendo Selects line. Use inflation as an excuse to charge $30 instead of $20 for games. But like Mario Odyssey or Splatoon, I know they got Splatoon 3 is going to get a Switch 2 upgrade. There's a lot of older Switch titles that could definitely get that Nintendo Selects love. And it would give new life for them on the Switch 2, I think. Everything from something like Astral Chain to Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, Pikmin, Metroid Prime, you name it. So, so hopefully Nintendo kind of, like I said, loosens up a little bit, but I'm not counting on it. And the reason why I'm not counting on it is this is not the Nintendo of the 90s that had to compete with Sega. And it's not the Nintendo of the 2000s that was desperate to win back consumers after failing so badly out of the 90s. And it's not the same Nintendo that was under Iwata. This is a Nintendo that is run by bean counters and corporate faces. More so than Reggie ever was. So, I don't have the most confidence that Nintendo's going to be changing right now, but who knows? I mean, Nintendo is always the company that will surprise you and do things when you least expect it. So they're really good at that. So yeah. Anyway, all right. Well, I had fun tonight. Thanks for joining me. I appreciate it. I will be back probably tomorrow with more Mario Kart World. But maybe not. I mean, the Steam Next Fest is here. I should probably get some of those demos out of the way. But either way, we'll be playing some more games. No more game trailers. I promise. Not unless it's about a game we might play soon. But yeah, it seems like we're kind of done with the Summer Game Fest stuff anyway, so that's okay. But yeah, we're gonna call it here. I'm gonna get some rest. It's early in the morning now. I've been streaming for about 3 hours, so I think that's a pretty good stream under the belt. And yeah, I hope you guys take care. And I need a cool sign off phrase. I need a shine on type of quote. Anyway, you guys take care of yourselves. I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.